All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me on another Give and Go podcast. Hopefully, my Wi-Fi does not cut out this time. All short teams will be posted tomorrow morning, and then Player of the Year and Coach of the Year will be at the end of this week, and that will wrap up soccer season. But I'd like to take time out today to talk to senior Abby Hanemann from Point Boro, fresh off their first ever Group 2 state title. So, Abby, thank you for joining me tonight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
So great season. You girls come close. Group two is very hard. Central Jersey Group two, similar to basketball. We kind of say if you could get out of the sectional, the odds of winning the group get better because how strong the short conference is, and you got Wall, Rumson, teams are very familiar. So after you got out of the sectional, first question I'm going to ask, what was coach's message on the bus ride up to Franklin for the state final?
He was just like basically explaining to us that like we've made it this far and like we've worked so hard all season, like it just like would suck for us it all to go to waste and us to lose. And like we were all just like so pumped up. Like I told like a lot of the interviewers at the end of the game, like I was just so confident in everybody and like we just had so much energy. We were so pumped up. Like the bus ride there, like everyone was like locked in. Like it was like crazy because usually girls are like talking and like everyone's doing hair and like everyone on the bus was like locked in. No one was like sleeping. We were like all so focused for the game. And like Edelo was just explaining to us like we want it like so bad. We've made it this far. Like let's show everyone how hard we've worked and get a final result of winning.
Now, before the season, you girls moved from B South to A South, playing stronger teams. What was his message before the season, going into and knowing that your schedule was going to be a little more difficult during the regular season than, the previous couple of years?
Yeah, honestly, like he was so happy and like all of the seniors were very happy too. Uh Edelo like would always mention like how sick of like the competition we had in B South. Like he was so sick of it. Like B South is like very weak, and the past 4 years, it's like or 3 years at least, we were playing teams where it was like we were just like outplaying them. It was just such a waste of a game, and it's like it was we could save our bodies, our starting players, but it was just like we wanted more competition. And like Edelo would always mention how like other teams and just people around would always in the short conference would just like look down to us, and like we never got any recognition because we were in B South. So moving up to A South, like we were pumped, we were so excited. We were like more competition finally. Like even teachers at Point Borough would be like, "Oh, you guys have no competition in girls soccer," and we were like, "We can't control that." So moving to A South senior year, it was like great. We finally get competition, and then being able to play these teams in A South and beating them by like 2 goals or even like 1 goal. Like we were outplaying teams throughout the season, and we were just like able to score a lot of goals this season, and we got final results which led us to winning South. So it was amazing, and Edelo was just so happy because we finally started getting recognized.
Yes, I'll admit I was a little guilty of not giving you girls the recognition because of the division, and I admit that. Um, Always thought the team was talented, but that, like you said, there, some game, Lakewood and some of the teams didn't even have enough
Yeah,
players, to field a team. And to your point, it was you and Lacey. Whoever won that game pretty much had a clear road the last couple of years
yeah,
to winning that. And Lacey will be moving out of that B South for next season. Um, which might be bad timing for them because they have a strong senior class. But
yeah.
do you think playing that stronger schedule this year helped your team because made it to the short conference finals, great accomplishment. One group two, do you think playing that stronger schedule and let's A South is also a very physical division as well. Do you think that
Yeah,
helped the team along the way?
100%. Like, I mean, I could like even if we were still in B South, I think we still would have like made all the accomplishments we did make, but I think it made it a lot easier having more competition. I mean, like even in like practices, we were like, "Hey, you can't slump off." Like we're playing hard teams this week. We would have 3 games a week sometimes, and it was like back to back, and it was like we need to be locked in to win these games because and we need to be focusing and working harder in practice because like we're moving from such like a different like level from B South to A South. It's like a total different level of competition where like practices need to be more focused and harder and we need to be just more focused in general. And it helped us so much. We were so much more prepared for Freehold. I think there were definitely teams in A South that were better than Freehold, but I think it seriously did prepare us for the short conference final and even like making it to like states. Like we were so used to high competition at all times. Even in the scrimmages, which were in the summer, we played Northern Highlands, which was they were insane, and they beat us 1-0, and we honestly could have beaten them. So I think playing harder teams in the preseason and leading up to like the big states and short conference, it definitely helped us out so much. We were definitely more prepared.
And you girls played Chatham right before postseason started, which is another strong team in the state. So
Yeah.
and a very good pickup there by coach getting that hard game scheduled. I have one tactical question that I noticed. Why do you're always on the side of coach? No matter even when the half switch, you don't switch sides. Could
Yeah.
you answer why that is?
Yeah, so it was actually funny because my gym teacher, who was Miss Ritter, she was a soccer coach and a former soccer player. She was watching the games, and then my other gym teacher was also Mr. Faring was like, they were like, "Why do you not switch sides?" They were like, "Why?" And I was like, "Why are you always on Edelo's side and like the visitor side, the home side?" And I literally just like I don't know why it's like so random. I just like I started doing it this year too, and it's like I just like being on Edelo's side, like I don't know, like he would just like tell me certain things where like, oh Abby, pull wide, or like just like whispering to me where it was like it's just so much easier. And like obviously I can do my own on the other side. But like I think just having his support there and like just having like everyone on the home side like cheering, it just gets me more pumped up and it was just a lot. I don't know. I literally like I don't know why I started doing it this year because everyone was asking me and I was like, I don't know. I just like kept doing it.
Yeah, I did not want to ask during the season. I was in case it was a tactical reason,
Yeah, no,
so
it was
so I
just
figured.
random. It was just random. I don't know. It just and then I started doing it every game, and I was just like, I also like switching it up. So if I'm like on the right side, the going up the right side the first half, I will go up the left side the second half just to like switch it up a little bit. But if I'm on a girl that I know I'm constantly beating and beating, then I will go to the other side.
And that's another thing I notice. You get a big smile on your face when it seems there's a defender you could get by, and I just love that. Like you just the way you approach the game, you could tell that you really love the game. You just love being out there.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I love it. It's just high school soccer is like I do love club too and I'm so excited for college, but like high school sports and especially like soccer this year, it's just such a different feeling of like happiness and it makes me I really do love the sport so much when I'm in my high school season. It's just like all the fans out and it just I feel like I have so much support in this community. It's just amazing. Like everyone gets hype for the games. Like I'm playing with like these girls I've been playing with my whole life and it's so much fun. I like every single game I was just like so excited to go out. Even today running the track, it's like all of our posters are still up. It's like so sad that it's over because I would keep going all year.
Um, I was going to bring this up a little later, but just talk about the relationship you have with your senior class. All of you started there, as freshmen. Ava and goal since she was a freshman. You've been on teams since you're a freshman. Gabby, playing controlling the center back, and Molly, who doesn't get the recognition all the time. I think she deserves because she does a
Yeah,
great job at the holding mid. Just talk about
yeah.
how close this senior class is, and what it means to end with the senior class with this championship.
Yeah, I mean it's so sad because like I just said, I've really been playing with these girls since we were like since I started playing soccer. Like we started at a Point Pleasant club all together. Um, Ava actually started as a field player and then I would think her like later on like maybe like 8th grade or like 7th grade she did start playing goalie and like she picked it up so quick and she's really so amazing. She put in so much time, she puts in so much effort and can't wait to see where she goes in college. But Gab too, I know she's not playing in college but I've been playing with her my whole life and like she did not play center back either and then once she was put in center back it was like we had full confidence in her and we like ever since freshman year, she's been finishing goals, and it's like she just keeps on grinding and grinding. Molly Harris too. I've been playing with her since I was a little girl too, and like we've split up with clubs, but like high school, I mean, she's such a strong holding midfielder, and I really do think she deserves more recognition because she puts in so much time, so much effort, and I think she's a great player. We just have so much chemistry together. Even Kaden Slento, she was with us freshman year. And then eventually Maggie and Fiona joining us too. I mean, with practicing with each other every day, doing club with each other like a couple times a week, playing club games with each other. It's just like we have so much chemistry together, and like we all were able to like use our different skills and put it together, and it just connects in the game. It's so sad that we don't have any more games left, but I mean, we made it. Our whole entire goal in the end was to get a ring and then get a state championship, and we did it because we were talking about like I've mentioned this in one of the interviews, but me, Ava, and Gab and Fiona have gym together, and in the beginning of the year we were like walking the track, and this was before like any game started, and like we were like we need to get rings this year. Like we need to get rings because it sucks. Like we've all lost such hard games like together like previous years, like losing to Rumson, losing to Wall. It just like sucks because we know we can beat them, and we know like we put in so much time and effort just to beat these teams, and it's like losing in a semifinal or losing in the quarterfinals. It's just an awful feeling. So being able to win this year and get rings together, and then have won the states together, and then we did the fire trucks together, like it's just a like full circle ending. It's so amazing.
Now I'm going to ask you a question about your seat. 28 assists, and what makes that even so special? You're not in one of these conferences where teams could win majority of their games 6-7 nothing. You're in a tough top conference where 3 goals is a high scoring game. With the way the Shore sets it up. What does it mean? Being one of the state leaders in assists, leading the Shore Conference in an assist, and 28 is just such a large number when you see that just playing in the Shore.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. Like the short conference is so like competitive. So like winning a game 3-0 is great for us. We've always struggled with finishing. And I think this year, like with everyone's abilities, like in different spots, and like new like freshmen coming up and sophomores in different spots, even juniors in different spots, like we were able to finish so well this season. And like the way we all connected with each other, like finishing like in certain games was problems for us, but that was just because the competition level was so high. But like we finished so many more goals today. Elite this year, Elise racked up so many more goals after being hurt. Maddie Renna stepping up, getting goals. I mean, my biggest thing like is definitely not goals. I mean, obviously I would love to score more, but my focus this year was assist, beat my player, drive the ball in, and have them finish it. And them being able to finish that many of like goals through my assists, it's just great because like me and Elise would always have a joke because like Elise wanted to keep her goals up and I wanted to get my assists up. So I'd be like, all right, Elise, I'll be my player, cross it into you, and then you finish, and then we're both like getting something out of it. So it was like funny because I was like looking at my stats the other day just to like see, and like in the previous years I didn't even realize like I didn't even have any number close to this assist. And then I mean, I think the first game we played was Shore, and I got 3 or 4 assists that game. So once like it started off strong, I was like so confident in myself, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep trying to rack up the stats. So it's great having 28 assists. I mean, I didn't even expect. I was talking to my mom one day before the state final game, and she was like, oh, you only need a couple more to be like in a certain place for assists in the state. Like, well, we're playing. I was like, we're playing Madison. Like, I don't know if I'm even gonna get a goal or assist that game. Like, I don't know. And she was like, all right, well, let's just aim for 1 goal, 1 assist. And then I was able to get a goal and 2 assists. So it's great.
Last question I have for just talk about this season. After the Shore Conference defeat, where I felt you girls outplayed Freehold, and they got that 1 goal. What was Coach's message after that to get to keep you girls on track?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like an awful feeling because Freehold is so like good every single year. And then this year, like I also play with the Freehold girls on my club team that I used to play on. And so we know how they all play. And like the seniors had a conversation. We were like, hey, we know how they play. Like this is their down year. Like this is our good year. Like we need to beat them. So obviously like the end result, them getting a goal, it sucks because we could have finished. I think we outplayed them. I think we should have beat them, but we didn't. So It just like it sucked like that feeling at the end like you kind of just have to shake it off and like Edelo was just like don't let this affect you like we're moving on to states and like his big message was just we need to move on and focus more in practice, work harder in practice to try and improve in our games, and it worked. It ended up working. It ended up working because focusing on that loss isn't going to help us move past it. So being able to just move past it that easily that everyone was able to do, it was great because we just were like, forget about it. It didn't happen. We didn't win, but now we're going to focus on getting rings and getting a state championship because we couldn't just dwell on that loss because it's not going to help us in the end. So staying positive and just like being a family working together and just we had more pasta parties, we were doing ice cream, like going out at night with each other, like it was just like bringing each other like positive vibes constantly after a loss. It's just it sucks. So we were able to get through it, and then getting rings was just great.
Um, all right, let's rewind to, you being a little kid. How old were you when you first started playing soccer?
Um, I was like 3, but I hated it. And my mom told me like I would literally wear like bracelets, necklaces, jewelry, and she said I would like run off the field crying. So I would say like I started like actually liking soccer and like focusing on it when I was like 6 or 7 years old and I was in like the rec leagues. And then I played for Point Pleasant and we were very competitive and then we ended up breaking up and then that's when I went to me, Ava and Gab, we went to Wall together. And then I played for Wall for a while. And then for my college experience, just like better, more experience, Cedar Stars, I played throughout all last year. And now that I'm committed and like I'm focusing a lot more on track right now, I'm back on Wall. So I'm with the Wall girls now.
Yeah, I went to when they played Brick Superstorm, I think, last
Yeah,
year or the year before I went to the game. Because a lot of point girls and wall girls, free old
yeah,
girls.
yeah.
Um, did you play? Obviously, you do track, but when you were younger, did you do any other sports?
Yeah, I did basketball. I actually did basketball freshman year of high school. And then I ended up realizing that I needed to kind of get past that and focus on track because my track coach was like, "All right, I need you to do winter track." But yeah, I played basketball my whole life. And then I like danced when I was a little girl, but I had to stop doing that too.
There's something I had another question, but I forgot what it was. If it comes up, I'll bring it up. Who was your coach at Wall when you went to the Wall Club?
For Wall, my coach was Dan Cummings, and then he moved. So then I have Jonathan Schmidt.
Schmidt. Okay. How did they help you, improve your game or it made you a better player?
Yeah, honestly, I do have to say Jonathan is probably like my favorite soccer coach I've ever had out there. He is so confident in me and like my ability and like he like never ever favored any girl. Like he treated everyone the same and I mean, I think he just has such good experience and he just like our practices were very technical and very tactical and like just the way our practices worked, like we were constantly grinding, constantly working, scrimmaging at the end and he was just always positive and like he was like real with everyone. Like if you deserve to play, like you're gonna get the minutes and if like you don't, you don't. And I don't know. I think his experience with soccer and just like the way he like coached us was just great and it really helped. It's just hard. I did end up going to Cedar Stars because Wall wasn't getting very good exposure in certain tournaments. But I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Wall. Like now that I'm back there, I really do think it's such a like Jonathan is such a great coach.
And it's the way it is these days. It's tough for the local town teams to get the exposure compared
Yeah,
to the academy teams.
yeah, it's very hard.
I remember what I was going to say. My niece, when she was 3, had her first game, the ball got taken away from her, and she came sprinting off the field, hysterical, crying, not understanding that soccer. You got so that just your story kind of reminded me of my niece
Oh,
at her very first soccer game, and now it's her favorite sport. Now, fast forward,
yeah.
uh, 8 9 years later. So let's talk. You going into high school. What goals did you set for yourself when you're a freshman and going into high school?
One of my goals was obviously making the team, and then once I made the team, I was like, I want to start. I was like, preseason we had I mean, before going into preseason, I was like, I want to make the team. I want to start. Like, I want to be getting a lot of minutes. And then once I got actually into preseason and we were doing like our running drills, the 2 mile, like the beep test, and like I was like doing very well in those. And it was like when I was beating like most of the upperclassmen, I was like, okay, like now my goal is I've made the team, like, or I'm gonna make the team. Like now I want to start. Edelo, it was a little bit weird with like the upperclassmen. A girl, one of the seniors did start over me, and so I didn't care because I was like, I am a freshman. I have to earn playing time. Like that's like when you're a freshman incoming and you have a bunch of seniors of, like that have been in the program or juniors that have been in the program longer than you. Like you have to show in practices and games that you need to earn your like starting spot. So once we got into like the fourth game, Edelo started playing me and starting me, and then I was once we kept going throughout the season, I was just playing the whole game with throughout my freshman year. I definitely wish that I scored more. I wish I was more confident in myself. I definitely wish I scored more in my underclassmen years, and I wish I just had more confidence. I That was kind of my goal senior year was just to like be as confident as I can. My mentality every game needs to be like I'm the best player in the field. Like I'm gonna beat my player every single time, and I didn't have that freshman like sophomore year just because I was like when I was a I'm like one of the youngest in my grade. So when I was a freshman, I was like 14 years old going against these 18-year-olds. Like it was scary, but I just like pushing through it mentally. I struggle so bad mentally, like especially with track too. So like one of my goals was just like don't let yourself get any mental blocks and like push through it, have confidence in yourself, and know that like you're a great soccer player. So I think those were pretty much my goals.
When did you start doing track? Was that like in middle school?
Yeah, I started doing track middle school, sixth grade, and I've always done like running, like the little 5Ks. Like I did like Soul Sisters when I was little. So then I was like, okay, I'll do track sixth grade. And I told myself I would never, ever, ever do it in high school. And I ended up doing it in high school. And last year I actually said to my one friend, I would never, ever, ever do this in college. And now I'm doing it. So I literally don't know how I ended up here, but
What events do you do?
I do the 200, the 400, the 100, and then I'm on the relays, the 4x2, 4x1, 4x4.
Now, I don't know anything about. I know Point Boro's pretty. They're good in track, right?
Very good, yeah.
So what sectionals or state titles do you have for track?
For track, we beat Rumson. I think it was when I was a sophomore. When I was a sophomore. Yes, when I was a sophomore, we beat Rumson, and like Rumson is crazy good at track. Like in the track world, everyone knows Rumson. Like that's our biggest competition. Like any other school, like Tom's River North is very good always too. So we've the past couple years we have won a couple of the Ocean County like relays in the spring and the winter. And then when I was a sophomore, the biggest accomplishment we had was we won sectionals and we beat Rumson. So it's really good. And then we always win B South every year. But I mean, track is so competitive. It's crazy. Like the times I was running when I was a freshman compared to now, like it's crazy. Like seconds and seconds shaved off every year. Like girls just keep getting faster and faster in it. It's so competitive, but it's so fun because if you like see track, if you ever see videos, it's like everyone gets so hype and it's like even like when girls win races, like it's crazy. I love how hype it is. Like it's so fun.
A friend of mine who does what I do on just on the basketball side, he always goes to the tournament of the meet of champions, and he says it's like he's like it's one of the best events
Best ever, yeah. They're long. Like track meets are long. Like when my parents come, like they're coming for my event, but like sometimes it sucks because the 4x4 which I run is always last. So sometimes I will run the first race and then the last race, and it's like you have to be there for 6 hours, which sucks, but it's part of track.
My niece did track last year as a sixth grader for the first time, and I got there when it started, and I waited and waited and waited until she only ran in two events because she's sixth grader. She didn't run
Uh,
in them. And I
yeah.
said to my sister, next time tell me when she's going on because I'm not standing here.
Yeah, because sometimes like you're literally running for 13 seconds and then you're done. And it's like my mom was there for hours and she was like, "Oh my God, you just ran for 13 seconds." Like that's crazy.
Um, Question I want to ask, I always like asking players, going into your junior year, what was something you really want to improve on?
Definitely getting more assists, which I worked on. I wanted to focus on 1v1s and beating my player. Definitely beating them more inside and outside. Also improving on my left foot and like using the left side of the field because like I would always be on the right side of the field last year and like beating my player wide every time, like they're gonna eventually catch up on it and like even in a game, like they'll be like, oh, you know what she's gonna do, you know what she's gonna do. So my biggest focus is just like beating my players one on one and driving more towards the goal. My crosses in my junior, sophomore, and freshman year, I noticed that like I would like beat my player and then I would just cross it in the air and like I would hope someone would finish it, just head it or like try and get it down and finish it. And me and Edelo this year we're working on like beating my player, taking an extra touch towards the goal and then driving it on the ground. And I think that's why we were able to finish so much more this year because me driving it on the ground is so much easier for the other players to finish it rather than trying to settle it and finish it or trying to head it in. So I think it really worked. And my goal was just like drive towards my player, take an extra touch towards goal, and then find a specific player to play to and then have them finish it. So it did work out pretty well this year.
I did no notice that a lot of your crosses were lower on the ground this year, especially the Manasquan game in the States. I noticed that a lot that you had like I think in the first 10 minutes, I think you might have had four or five crosses. That was one of the games where you were definitely exposing the defender that was covering
Yeah.
you that game. I feel bad for saying that since I'm a short person, but you were definitely exposing that defender that game. Um, Next question. I asked you this after you won the group title, but I didn't really write anything after that game. So, what is something you hope to pass down to the underclassmen that they're going to be able to carry?
I hope that they just like I really hope this team just keeps like improving their confidence and I think that I like keep repeating that, but like I think like soccer is such like a physical like sport, but like and like not as like mental, but like I think like with like this whole generation, like mental toughness is still so much more like important and like you can't let distractions like affect you and like when we're playing a game like it really everyone says it but it goes by so fast. Like I just played my last high school, it literally feels like I still have two more seasons to go. So like really just like letting every distraction go and like I just want everyone to love the sport because like going out on the soccer field, like I didn't realize until my senior year how much I loved it and like how I just like constantly wanted to play. I wanted Edelo to get so much pickup games. I wanted to just keep playing and like being able to play on our home turf this year so many times was so great. So like I just hope everyone continues to love the sport so much and not just playing just to like stay in shape or just not just playing to like do something, but like mentally being able to let all your distractions go and like once you're stepping on the field you focus, lock in, and you're just able to love the sport and love what you're doing because that's going to drive everyone towards winning at every game. And I just want to keep everyone keep getting A South titles, state titles, sectional titles, I'm hopefully short conference titles. Like it's just like I want Point Boro. Like I know we're a small group two school and like that's what everyone has seen us as, but I want us to like keep building the program and I want everyone to realize like we're gonna be everyone's biggest competition now and everyone's gonna be looking for Point Boro now. So we've really put a name like
Yeah.
on our school.
I had one more question. I forgot what it was. It'll come back to me. Let's do, you ready for rapid fire questions here?
Yeah.
All right. The first one, what's your favorite TV show?
Probably the Vampire Diaries.
Favorite movie?
No Hard Feelings.
Okay. What is your go-to song to get you pumped or focused before a game?
Oh God, that's a hard question. Oh my God. Anything by Eminem.
Okay. I saw you were in the zone before the game against
Yeah.
Madison.
My
You,
favorite thing is listening to music. It really like I need music. I need it blasting in my ears. We have a whole joke with track that they like my coach calls me Stone Cold Abby when I put on my beats. Like I
um, something you enjoy to do when you're not working out, doing track or doing soccer in your free time.
I like spending time with my family. We have Sunday dinners every Sunday, and I do look forward to that every Sunday. I love my cousins. We're very close.
That's good because that's something that doesn't happen as often as it did when I was
Yeah,
growing up. The Sunday dinner, the
yeah, we're all
Sunday.
in high school together, so it's great finally.
Okay. What's your favorite school subject?
Ooh, I would say science.
What do you rather when you're beating a defender? Would you rather do it with your footwork or use your speed to get by the defender?
Speed, 100%.
Okay.
It's the best feeling. Beating them with my speed is like just taking one big touch and just running towards the ball. It's like just makes me look so much faster.
When your playing career is finally over, do you still would you stay involved with soccer, whether coach,
Definitely.
training?
Yeah. Yeah, I would look into like women's leagues and just stay with the game.
Okay. All right, let's talk college because that question didn't come back in my head.
Yeah.
You committed to Westchester. What made that where that blah little tongue twister there? What attracted you that you could say, "Hey, I could spend my next 4 years here"?
I like really didn't know much about Westchester. I had a game like a couple years ago for club near Westchester, and my dad like knew someone who went there, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to go look at Westchester?" And I was like, "What the hell is Westchester?" So we drove around campus, and I really liked it, but I kind of just like forgot about it, and I was like, "Okay, like whatever," and I like wasn't really ever thinking like I was like, "It's really nice," but like I still have like a couple years till I go to college, so whatever. And then I would say I was pretty late for my commitment that I like wanted to be, that I would rather be. And everything, I was so stressed out. I didn't know if I was gonna just do track, if I was just gonna do soccer, if I was gonna do both. And everyone just kept saying to me like it will work out for you, it will work out for you. I was so stressed out. My parents were like, "Hey, everything will work out in the end." And it seriously did work out in the end. So my last I don't even know which tournament she came to, but Betty Ann, the Westchester soccer coach, came to one of my games, and I did reach out when I was like in my recruiting process. I remember reaching out to Westchester saying like, "Hey, I hope you can come see me play." And then Betty Ann, the coach, came to my game, and then after the game, she emailed me and she was like, "Hey, I would love to have you on campus. Like, do you want to have a phone call?" And then we had a phone call, and then she was like, "Come to a clinic. Like, I have a couple ID clinics. I want to see you play more." I went to the clinic. I did so well, and then I got a call the next day, and she was like, "Hey, like we're gonna recruit you." But after the clinic, I did walk around campus again, and I really did fall in love with the campus. Like I just think it's like it's such like a fall like perfect like feeling like the school's not too big but it's also not too small because I am coming from a small town in Point Pleasant, and so I wanted to go bigger definitely, but I am not good with like too big. So 15,000 students being at Westchester, I was like that's a perfect amount for me. I still and the weather there is like not that bad. I mean, it's Pennsylvania weather. I did definitely want to go warmer down south, but like at the same time like I'm used to Jersey weather. I'm used to running out in the cold. So I was like, it's not like I'm adapting to new weather. And then I just like researched the school more and before like finally like committing. And one of my friends, Bridget Feehan, I played soccer with her when I was a freshman and sophomore. She goes there and I reached out to her. I was like, "Hey, how do you like the school?" I reached out to a couple track girls, a couple soccer girls, and then a couple girls that aren't like an athlete, and I just got all good vibes, all good messages, so it just ended up working. And then I committed for soccer, and then my track coach and my soccer coach was actually like, "Hey, why don't you try and reach out to the track program?" So I reached out to them too, went on my official visit there after I gave them times, and then I committed for both, so it ended up like perfectly working out.
Good. I know she does a good job recruiting from the shore. I know there's quite, Jackie Graham, Olivia Conroy, um, and it's a very successful Division II program. Like they're a very good
Hmm.
team. I remember 2 years ago following them when they made it to the D2 national championship game. Lost. I think it was the only loss there that season, 1-0. So it's a
Yeah,
good program. You'll be a good fit there too. So look forward to.
yeah.
All right. So last question. Um, what advice would you give your younger self?
Oh God, that's a hard question. Um, just to like, um, never let any distractions get in your way, and never like let any distractions get in your way, and like outside of sports, and like continue to love the sport, and don't like let yourself get burnt out, and don't stress over it, because everything will work out in the end. I think like I stressed myself out way too much, and I was like started to be like I don't even know if I want to play a sport in college, and I was like in such a weird little slump where I was like I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Like I don't even want to play anymore. And like my club team here, like it was just like it really burnt me out. And then like luckily track was going well last year, but I think I would just tell my younger self, like, everything's going to work out in the end. Just keep having confidence in yourself. Don't let anyone else, like, distractions. I mean, like, I would always look at everyone else's posts and be like, oh my God, they're getting here, and just stress myself out. So I think I would just say, stay confident in yourself. Everything's going to work out in the end, because I really do and love track, and I love soccer so much. So it all ended up working out.
All right. That is, there's enough things that sports are supposed to be the fun part.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So that is great advice, and everything will work out. Especially, I know how stressful the recruiting process
Yeah,
goes. So,
it's so stressful. Oh my God. Because it's like, girls commit so early that it's like you
and
start
then
stressing yourself out, but like you have to realize like it it really will work out in the end.
yeah. I also seem to learn. It seems like kids that I mean, soccer's different than every sport because you really can't start talking until after you finish your sophomore year
Yeah.
with coaches. But kids that commit very early, basketball, they either don't even end up at the school that they
Yeah.
originally commit to, or they're out after one season. And it seems to work out better for the kids who are patient. And
Yeah.
so, but all right. I appreciate you taking time out
Yeah,
tonight,
of
and
course.
congratulations on a great season. And I wish you
Yeah.
luck during track. You do winter and
I do winter and spring.
okay. Which one's better?
I would say spring, because the winter it's like hard. Everyone's kind of like smushed in the bubble,
The
and
bubble.
times are definitely faster outdoors, because throughout the winter we build up to get our fastest times in June.
Okay.
And so I would probably say spring is better. Plus, it's warmer and just better vibes. So definitely spring.
That's good to know. They build up. You work in the winter to build up your spring
Yeah.
numbers. So cool. All right, Abby, thank you for joining me
Yeah.
tonight. And like I said, good luck during track season, and good luck next year at Westchester.
Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Look forward to seeing people on the basketball court, and my postseason stuff will be finished at coming out tomorrow. Have a good night.